The thoughts, views, and opinions of In the Red podcast and its host and our guest is strictly for entertainment purposes only.
All right. Back at it again. We in the building. I got my broski in the building, hanging out. I don't know if he's going to get on the pod or whatever he's doing. He's chilling on the special guest couch, but he's not a special guest, so nobody gives a fuck about that. Right, broski?
Right.
All right. Damn, Daniel. Anyway, I have a question, and since you're here, son, you can help me, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. You listening?
Listen.
All right. We are both men of a certain age, right?
Yep.
Okay. What new candy can you remember has came out since we were, let's just say in our teens?
Good question. I have no idea.
There's no new candy,
You might be right.
right? Like all the candies that we like and love they still exist, right? We can still find, you can't find them as regular, but you can still find Now and Laters, Lemon Heads. What else? What was the Boston Chews? What else? Yeah. Give me something else, man. Come on and tell me just yeah.
Low pops,
Blow Pops.
cinnamon candies. What's the name of them cinnamon candies?
Oh, not the Red Hots. You talking about Red Hots?
Yeah, Red Hot.
Red Hots. All of those joints, they still exist, right?
Yep.
There's not even a revised version of like the Blow Pop. There's no like new flavor of Blow Pop or Now and Laters, right?
Sure.
You don't think that's weird, bro?
I think that's very weird.
Like even gummy worms, right? Like they just keep coming out with like different patterns, like, different shapes, but it's the same shit.
Yeah,
You don't think that's odd?
definitely.
That's what I said. I just had a random thought there. I was like, ain't no new candy. I was walking through CVS the other day. I was like, CVS be having like the big bags of the candies. And I was like, damn, I want something. I was like, I wonder what new they got. I saw nothing new. Mints. You had the mints, the mint balls, and you had the soft mints. You know what I mean? The soft peppermints.
Those are good ones.
Bro, you can go through like 50 of those, man.
Hell yeah.
You be dizzy like a mug, but right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, crazy. But all right. Let's start this show and get it popping. Start it the proper way. All right. All right, we're back. So, yo, you know what I miss, man. And the candy thing came up for a reason. Because you know what, like there's no new candies, right? But you know what went out of style that I used to love and like? Girls with lisps. You know what I'm talking about? Bro, it used to be a time when you can, you go out, club or something or whatever, and it was just something about a chick that had a lisp that was kind of sexy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't expect you new age people. Oh, and by the way, yes, I'm wearing my glasses again for this pod. I made sure that the camera was a certain angle because I got a bunch of flack about, oh, you never show your eyes. Well, there it is. Eyes, there you go, right? They're brown. But yeah, man, I miss the days of hearing a nice looking woman with a lisp. Like, everybody's so fast to go get their teeth done. You don't understand. Like, sometimes, just God give you a special gift. You know what I mean? A lisp was sexy back in the day. What do you think, son? Am I lying?
Nah, you're not lying at all.
Yeah, man. A lisp back in the day, man, a lisp was sexy. It used to be like, yo, man, shorty kind of cute, man. And then she start talking, suffering succotash. You know what I mean? Kind of sound like, a female version of Mike Tyson or something. But it was something about a chick with a lisp, and you'd be like, man, chick kind of. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and I'm gonna divulge this. This is, what I mean. I really don't hold back too much. I say what it is. But I had that wouldn't be considered a kink, but I had a thing that I used to like. And if a girl in the club had this trifecta, oh, it was a wrap. I'm on her like white on rice. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I don't expect anybody born after 97 to understand what I'm talking about. Y'all, this conversation ain't for you. Just listen, sit back and listen, because you ain't gonna understand. You don't know none of this stuff unless you got like older sisters and brothers, or maybe your moms or something, and you might have seen it in her closet or something. But if a chick was in the club, or not even had to be a club, I always talk about the club from, DJ days, but if a chick even walked past me, more than likely it was in the club. And she smelled like either Red Door or blue jeans, right? A hint of cigarette smoke and alcohol. You can cancel Christmas, doctor. I was all over that like white on rice. My bad. So it was either Red Door or blue jeans, because remember, they were the same company. They come in that little can that you might have seen it on your mom's dresser, and all she do is put dimes and pennies in them, put a little spare change in them now. Right? And you're like, yo, mom, what is this can? And she'd be like, oh, that was perfume for having it. Well, so it was Red Door, blue jeans, Razak lotion. If you don't know about Razak lotion, just shut up. Don't say nothing. Just go Google it. Ask your mom, ask your older sister, ask your brother. Razak lotion. White bottle, purple letters. Never forget it. And she smelled like Red Door, blue jeans, Razak, a hint of cigarette smoke, and a light touch of alcohol. Back then, it was girls were being dainty and thinking that Manhattans and Metropolitans were the in drink. You know what I mean? In mixed drink. But if they smelled like that, oh Lord, man, it just did something to me, like right behind my ear. Like I just get the little tingle, and I feel I'm on it like white on rice. You couldn't get away from me if you smelled like that. I said it was a trifecta, but it's 4 things. What do you call 4? Man, help me out. You, man.
What do I call 4?
Yeah, instead of a trifecta, if it's 4, do they have a name for that? Instead of trifecta, it's 4.
I don't know.
Man, you suck, man. You can never be a Potter. Yeah. But yeah, man. Oh, that was the blend of the early 90s, man. That blend right there. Man, there's a lot of you right now listening that were created because of that deadly. That's a deadly combination on itself. Deadly combination. And they used to put it on in layers. You know, I've watched girls put these things on, and so, you know, they get out of the bath, you know what I mean? You know, lotion. They put on their regular lotion, like their Jergens cocoa butter, or, you know what I mean? One of those things that it's not too heavy on the smell, kind of light. Then they hit the body on all the right spots with the Razak, arms, legs, you know what I mean? Little under the titty. Do all of that. Then boom, layer up. If it's the red jeans or the blue door, boom, 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 boom. Hit it in all the right spots. Let that set in. Put on their undergarments. Hit one more time. Bam, bam, bam. Light spray, 2 sprays. Let that settle down. They walk off. They let the body cool off from the hot shower that they just took. Right? Because they don't want to sweat. Might do their makeup in between. Put the little towel around their waist and get their makeup done and get it popping. Now they're ready to get dressed, and then right before they hit the door, as soon as they put on their shoes, 2 more shots or 1 more shot. But this shot is the one that they pump in the air and they walk through and do one of these like a fucking angel. Right through the spray. Oh, man. Good days, man. You do that. And, man. Now, I have a story to tell, but I got to save that for the Patreon, because there's absolutely no clean version of that story that I could tell on this platform. It's impossible. There's no getting around it. And I think I'm pretty savvy with words, and I can't see in my head a way to get her. But just know and believe that, man, that quadruple combination right there, that'll get it done. There's another thing. So the last pod and a couple of pods before, I was talking about, you know, the chicks with the BBLs. You know, I'm always all for the BBW girls. You know, but I don't want to disrespect you skinny minis or you firmer thins. You know what I mean? Like, y'all do your thing. Here's my problem though. If you're 115, you should not be in tights. You know what I mean? Like, tights are not for 115s. If you're not 135 and better, you know what I mean? Like, stay out of tights. If you're going to be 115, then you got to be, like, heavy in the gym or heavy on squats or stairs or something. You got to have a little something. But when y'all put on tights and you're only 115 pounds, it kind of just looks like pajamas. You know what I mean? It don't look like what you think it should look like. It don't look like how it looked in the magazine in Shein or what's the Lululemon. It don't look like it. It's not the same. Stay out of the, because y'all have your own road. And I'm not saying, listen, I don't really have a type. I keep saying this is just because I big up BBWs. Everybody assumes that I only into BBWs. No, I don't have a type at all. I really don't. Like, to prove what I'm saying, you ain't never really made love to a deaf woman has said I love you during sex. Huh? Till a chick who can't hear, you know what I mean, talks to you in sign language while y'all are doing the do. Yeah, you can't tell me nothing about I have a type, man. Now, I don't say names, but yo, son, give me a name I can use, man. Any random name. Jill, okay. So, Jill was a chick that knew through other people she was deaf, but she could speak a little. She could speak a little. It was like kind of like a murmur type kind of thing. But at the time, I myself was trying to learn sign language. Now, on the low, I really just wanted to learn sign language to get to Jill. Right? So I would, go and learn letters, but I knew that there was whole, words that could be said, but I would try to talk to Jill and spell out the letters individually of what I was trying to say. It used to piss Jill off, but she thought it was cute. Mind you, Jill was a little bit older. She thought it was cute that I was even attempting to try. All right. So now Jill finally gives in one night. We go to, it wasn't even like a club. We go to the little local bar in the hood in Flatbush. You know what I mean? Get tossed up, and Jill is partying. That's mad disrespectful, ain't it, sir? Right? But Jill is doing her thing, and we having a good time. And I don't know now, should I sign language, howls, or what, So I just say, she was that, but she could hear a little bit, and she was also like really good at reading lips. So I answered, pretty much like, yo, what you want to do? And Jill was with it. So lo and behold, man, listen, we get down there, and again, because of the platform, I can't get into major details, but let's just say it was mayhem. Beautiful, beautiful mayhem. Amazing mayhem. Didn't know Jill had it in her. Right? During said time, let me tell you something. Now, I told you at the last pod, you ain't never really, had nothing to one of them cougars say the right thing to you at the right time. I told you that last cougar said to me, pour into me. Well, I went with a vengeance. But you ain't never had a good time till, right during or in between, they hit you with that whole and doing the sign language at the same time, and because of the sound effects, man, you ain't never, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. Let me ask you a question. You think that's too far, sir? It's real shit. Me and Jill had the same birthday, too. Same exact birthday. And we were a couple of years apart. But we had the same exact birthday. Almost damn near the same time, which was like really crazy. But she was deaf as shit. But man, and Jill, if you out there, man, hope all is well. And I don't know how to sign language that, but I'll give you a A+. I want to tell that story in its entirety, but here's the thing, and this is completely off subject. This shit has been grinding my gears for a little while now. Now, listen, if you don't know, let me tell you. Maybe about 8-9 years ago, I cut my locks, right, for my own personal reasons, whatever. And I would wear a stocking cap or whatever, or, my hat, that would fit my hair. But you new guys out there that are walking around with bonnets, on your head, you look sweet. You look sweet. You look about as sweet as the dudes who walk around in 2024 with their ass out. You look like you're inviting some kind of mayhem to happen in the back of your pants. And I'm trying to be as respectful as possible because of the platform, right? Because if I was on the other platform, I would really say what I really want to say. But you guys look sweet. I've seen driving around, walking around, and I'm seeing you guys in matching bonnets with your girl. Bonnets with the red headband, the around the forehead, and you're walking in the street like that. And your girl got on the same thing. And then when you take it off, you got a Caesar. Or you got waves. A bonnet is not helping you with waves. A do-rag I could take. You know what I mean? I can understand a do-rag. This picture's out there with me with do-rag before locks or whatever. Yeah, I can understand a do-rag. But a bonnet? No, man. Absolutely not. It's not manly at all, man. I don't know what's happening with this new generation, and I might sound like some kind of old head or whatever. Call it what you want. Call it what you want. But that ain't man shit. Walking around with a bonnet on your head and they like, what are you wearing? Curlers under there? Like, what's happening? And then you take it off, your head nappy, or it's not comb, or you got a Caesar, or you got waves. It's just, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how you figure that's a style. And on top of that, you know what? Let me add to it. Not only are you dudes wearing bonnets, but why are these new dances that y'all are coming out with seeming more and more feminine than the chicks? Like the chicks are still twerking and doing their thing, and it seems like y'all dancers are getting more and more feminine. I'm not understanding it. Like, is that where we're running to? And I'm not talking about nothing with, you know, the alphabet people, whatever. I'm not talking about none of that. What I'm talking about is these dances that y'all are doing or coming up with TikTok and Instagram, whatever y'all are doing and wherever y'all doing, y'all are taking these to the clubs. And first of all, the guys are dancing amongst other men. There's 1 million women in the club. You're dancing amongst other men with these feminine dances right up on each other. And you got chicks just standing around just looking and like, yo, when are y'all gonna come over here? When are y'all gonna come over here? Y'all are more interested in dancing with each other and showing these feminine, you're dancing with each other in bonnets. Explain that to me. Make it make sense. I don't get it. If anybody understands it or has an excuse for it, leave it in the comment. Make me understand, because I don't get it. Oh, let me double back. I'm all for y'all. That's all I had to say. I'm just telling y'all that y'all look like y'all are inviting some mayhem to happen in the back of your jeans when y'all do that. Between that and in 2024, still wearing your pants all the way half off, not even half off yet, it don't make sense to me. And this is just man shit. This ain't old nigga shit, ain't nothing like. It don't make sense to me for you to purposely pull your pants down under your ass and then pull the belt super tight, that now you gotta walk like y'all look so every time I see one of y'all, I just wish that I could just, you know what I mean, like break out a pit bull or something and just run it behind you, because I know y'all can't get away, and just watch y'all just rock like SpongeBob up and down the block like silly niggas. It's dumb, and it's partially you girls' fault, because y'all allow this. Why don't you be walking, why don't you tell the dude or your so-called homeboy or the dude that you fuck around with, like, yo, man, that don't look manly. It don't. Why don't you say that? But you rather say it to your girls, like, he looks stupid like that, and you allow it. The whole thing is nonsense, man. I don't get it. But I forgot to mention, I'm doubling all the way back now. Besides the chick with lisp, there's another type of chick. It was the chick with lisp and the chick with the gap tooth. Oh man! If she got a gap tooth and a lisp, if she got a gap tooth, a lisp, wearing Razak, red or blue jeans, smell like a little bit of cigarette and some alcohol, and the cigarette is kind of up in the air, you know what I mean? But it was just like that after club smell. She might not even have had to smoke it. Just because she was in the club, she had the little hint. I used to smoke cigarettes, so just in case you didn't know, I used to smoke cigarettes very heavy. So, but Razak, gap tooth, red or blue jeans, and a little bit of alcohol. Man, yeah, you couldn't pay me to leave you alone. I'm all over you for the rest of the night. It's all about me and you. What you want to drink? You ain't leaving this spot. I'm calling my man. Go to the bar, grab me a drink, cause I ain't leaving the spot. We right here in it all night long. Oh man. Great times. If you're not sure, I'm sure there's someplace somewhere that still sell Razak, right? On that note, I'm gonna give it a little pause break, and we'll be right back. All right, we back. Just a quick intermission. Brother was leaving out. Where was I? I forget. I was talking about the quadruple. It's not even quadruple because it's Razak, gap tooth, lisp, right? Red or blue jeans, alcohol. Yeah, that's where I was at last. But yeah, man. Damn, threw me off a little bit. But yeah, we back at it. But I wanted to talk about something too, man. And this time I'm actually going to mention a name, right? And if you are looking for what's the new term, shade or whatever, or, you know, I'm not doing that. I actually respect this brother. I really like this dude. But I see like well, let me get to it. I'm talking about there's a dude named Queens Flip. On some of you may know him from the JBP, Joe Budden's podcast. Some of you may have known from some of his skits with their antics with his son in the car and, you know, shaking him around, throwing food, or he has 1,000,001 skits that he's put out there. I'm sure most people are kind of familiar. If you don't know his name directly, you're familiar with seeing one of his skits somewhere. Amazing dude. But the reason I bring him up is because as of lately, like I know he's been on the Joe Budden podcast for like maybe a year or so. It could be a little bit more, like a year and change. And sometimes I see in the comments, or I see, he goes live or whatever, and I see people make comments, and I think he really gets misunderstood. I've heard him, and let me clear this up. I don't know him personally at all. So everything I'm saying is strictly out of my visual of just it's all just my opinion, right? I don't know him personally, don't know really, you know what I mean? Well, I know one person, because I was just going to say I don't really have any ties to people that know him, but I do know one person who I believe, I don't know if they're actually family, but, they could be close enough to feel like family, and I know it's trusted or whatever, because I've seen, interaction and on both sides say like, that's their people. And that dude is a solid cat. Me and him are not friends. I had 2 interactions with him, and that's as far as it go. And that was late 90s, I want to say, around there, early to late 90s. Well, let me say mid to late 90s, right? But, and his name doesn't need to be mentioned. But, yeah, the dude Queens Flip, let me start from the beginning. So, saw the vids of his skits and stuff, and, funny dude or whatever. And there was a Asian dude that, used to, I guess he used to tag along with him. And, they create content or whatever. And he include the Asian dude in his content and stuff like that. And the Asian dude kind of got well known. So, in the beginning, I didn't really know what his name was. Right? I didn't know his name was Queens Flip. I wasn't sure. Then COVID hit, and then he was doing like a bunch of lives during that time. And, we were all trapped in the house, and I got put onto his live. And, no, lies. That's a lie. I think it was right before COVID. Right before COVID. Yeah. I'm bugging out with the timeline. Anyway, long story short, what it was, the Asian dude that he had tag along with him, he would do his own personal skits and stuff on his own. And I guess he had people that would back him up and record him or whatever. So one of my peoples who is actually like an OG to me, right? Hit me up and sent me like a little quick clip of this dude on the train, like wilding out, rapping or whatever. And my peoples was ready to like spaz out. So when I got the message, I sent back, when I got the little video clip, I sent back a message like, no. That kid don't mean no harm, man. I know it looks wild or whatever, but he really don't mean no harm. So I reach out in a DM to Queens Flip, man. I'm like, yo, I don't remember like in detail, but it was like along the lines like, hey, listen, I want to say it was like the 7 train thing, because the train went out. It went outside. You know what I'm saying? So there's only a few trains that like go outside. So I want to assume that it was like the 7 train. And I know my boy, he was like Queens area or whatever. So I DM Flip and I'm like, yo, your guy, you know what I mean? Well, what the hell is his name? I know he go on his page is like Too Much Swag or something like that. TMS, Too Much Swag, right? And I'm like, yo, your guy was on the train wilding out or whatever, and he got to be mindful sometimes. It might go a little far because, again, I know the kid doesn't really mean any harm, but sometimes when he's talking or he's doing his little rap thing during his skit, or he tends to like maybe spit or whatever. And again, as it might sound nasty or whatever, and like, but he himself doesn't really mean harm. He's just doing this thing. Nice, cool kid. And so I was like, yo, it could be read the wrong way. It could be taken the wrong way. You know what I mean? He was on the train. And, I kind of explained as much detail as possible. Then, boom, later on in the night, Flip goes live. I go on the live. I view the live. And I was like, oh, okay. And he hits up TMS. And, he ends up going to TMS home, right? Get to find out, like, TMS, all new to me, right? So get to find out TMS is, he has his own, mental things. I guess he's on medication. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming like stuff like maybe ADHD or whatever. He's like hyper or whatever. And he goes there, and I'm watching this play in real time, but I'm looking at the interaction. It could be age, maturity, but I'm not looking at the antics. I'm looking at like what's actually transpiring, and I'm watching and I'm seeing how this guy's TMS, his mom, who barely speaks any English, how she's appreciating Flip's presence there, right? And she's like, basically like, yo, talk to him, help him, you know what I mean? Because he's not listening, and blah, 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 and TMS is wilding, and, TMS is, in his wild out thing that he's doing, and kind of spiraling. And I watched how his demeanor changed when Flip entered the room, and it wasn't like, yo, scared or whatever. It was a respect thing. It was like, yo, oh, my boy is showing up for me. And he was like, yo, and he did go live or whatever, and he was showing it. And I know people are like, will say, well, if he was doing something good, then why'd he ever record? Because, if you know Flip, you know that it's, COE, content over everything. So he's gonna showcase it. But if you bypass the like what's on top and look at the deeper thing that's happening, TMS took his medication right there on camera in front of everybody, in front of Flip. He was like, yo, take your medication, man. Like, chill out, bro. Like, you wilding out. You know what I mean? I think even in the comments, I might have sent a message like, nah, I didn't want to like, because Flip made a comment like, yo, you got these niggas wondering, and I was like, nah, it wasn't me directly. I don't know if he had read it wrong, but he was like, yo, like, you got these niggas that want to like fuck you up and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, it wasn't me directly. It's really my man, but you're a good kid, you know what I mean? I didn't want to see anything happen. And all that, to jump back, my man did send back a message, and he was like, okay, you know what I mean? I was like, yo, he mean no harm or whatever. And I think my man just took himself off that car and went to another car or whatever while TMS continued to do his thing. But I looked at that interaction between Flip, TMS, and TMS mom. And I was like, you know what? He's got to be cut from a different cloth than the average young boy. I mean, I say young boy, but the average younger cat hit around his age to understand what it is. Not all of them get it like that, right? He had to be around somebody because that's kind of like learned behavior. You got to kind of like be around OGs to understand like what it is, right? So that happens. And I continue to go on, every time he's live, I've been on his lives, I watch his live. But over time, man, I watched this dude like put together some real amazing content, really amazing content. And I don't think that gets addressed enough. I don't think that the people who speak on him now or are addressing his antics or whatever, I don't think they see like the bigger picture of what he was creating. So if you're not familiar, besides, the Joe Budden podcast, he had a podcast, Flip the Script. Amazing. I thought that was an amazing pod. I really did. There were antics in there, but it was serious. Like, he understood the balance. Shout out to G Money, the DJ, who's also his co-host. The two of them had a really great balance. G Money was, just cool across the board. And, he even had a thing like, he would say like, yo, if he liked the person, he was cool, and Flip be like, yo, don't give him that too soon or whatever. Flip's had a couple of people on that on that pod who I've been close to, and I, and I was kind of like, like, amazing job, man, amazing job. Did a really amazing job, and he had another some other content called The Callers. That was dope. It might not be something for people of my generation, but if you look at the bigger picture of what he was creating, it was amazing. You know what I mean? Like, it always throws me off. Like, like, why don't people just look at the bigger picture and look at what he's doing? People talk, oh, he got his son with him. Man, how much kids would want to be with their pops on the regular. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he's been able to show his kids, and forward motion always wins, man. You know what I mean? Like, he's instilled so much, and I know I'm sounding like I'm jumping on the flip bandwagon, but I've just seen such a beautiful bigger picture with this dude that is it kind of disheartening when people don't take the time to really figure out what he is. And again, I don't know this brother direct. I'm just going off of what I seen, and what you show me is what I'm going to take. If you look past the antics, and then you will see what it. So he started also FDN, which was Flip the Network, right? Where he turned around, and the people that were on his live, so he would have a live, and he'd bring different people up, and he would, in such a savvy way, kind of create content, which the content led to people being characters, and now these characters are interacting, and now there's a storyline within these characters on his live, right? That turned into now, it got so big that it was like, he's gonna do a live show with them. So now these characters are showed up, and he has, in a nicer little, let me not say little, but in a nice theater kind of setup, and all those characters for the live are now on stage. They, who hashed whatever out, or it was just good. Was it exactly what maybe he had planned? No. But the fact that he put it on and put it together for Dolo, man, you gotta respect that. And as a black man, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say, as a black man, it was beautiful to see. Now, are there times where you're like, damn, homie, like, I heard somebody like give you advice in real time, and you kind of shun it. And I'm all for, like, let me fall on my own sword. Let me figure it out. And if it don't work out my way, so I get that mindset. But sometimes, like, I've seen it where it'll be like really good advice, and he'll go against the grain just because, right? Those times I'm like, I get the whole falling on your sword. I'm with you on that, but that little tip would have worked for you, right? So it went from the live show, which to me and to I'm sure a lot of people was a hit. It was a hit, right? It might not have been thousands of people there, but it was a hit. And the fact that it hasn't been done, that was a trend-setting moment. From there, he takes it on now. He takes those characters, adds more characters. These characters are getting, they're getting known on their own. And now he puts together Flip the House. So it's kind of, you know what I mean, like, you know, there are many reality shows that are out there, but he did it from people from Instagram Live and put these strangers in a house. And there's tons of content. I know you can go on, I believe his Patreon or whatever, or his YouTube, where you can see like the full videos or the clips. But all this was put together by one person, right? You have to respect it. Forget the antics. Look at what the brother has put together. And I want to say this too. When I started on his, watching his lives or whatever, and I would address him in the comments. Hey, you know what I mean? Like I would say he did something dope. I was like, oh, that's dope, Young G. You know what I mean? And then later on, I heard him say, yeah, he wasn't talking about my comment. He was talking about stuff for like, in his personal life. He was like he didn't like his older brother to address him as little brother and stuff like that. So, I respectfully, I cut that out. I ain't just flip. You know what I'm saying? But I respect the young bro, man. You know what I mean? And it's no like little homie. I don't know him, but I'm just saying I respect the young brother for what he's put together. It's amazing. And I would tell anybody, man, yo, check it out. I tried to get like my internal people, like my brother and, other people to like kind of engage and watch what's playing out. But at the time, there were certain characters that would just go crazy and make a bunch of noise on, on the mic or something. And it was just, it just seemed like mayhem for somebody who didn't know and was just watching for the first time. What I find hilarious now is that a good portion of those characters eventually that FDN thing, it split. It couldn't work for very long. There was internal stuff, but a lot of the stuff, again, what was happening was people were reading into friendships and stuff like more than they should really have. And if they had really paid attention to what he was trying to do and understand what he was trying to do and forget about like the friend part. Like, we can be cool, but we don't have to be friends. I can work with you. We don't have to be friends to work together, right? But what he was trying to accomplish was like, all right, listen, I did this FDN thing here. So y'all go do and create content. And so that when you come back here, there's more storylines. So you might be such and such character and, this is your storyline, but because you're doing your own content over there, what ends up happening now is you may create 3-4 more characters because of your storyline. And now we go from 7 to 17. Now it's a never-ending cycle of storylines because, besides the original 7, you got these 10 more things. But what was end up happening, they kept relying on him to kind of always steer the narrative. And, eventually it kind of like, he had to dissolve it or whatever, or it dissolved itself, however you want to read it. But I thought it was a beautiful thing, man. And I would implore anybody, man, like really do your deep dives and really check out what the dude has really accomplished and put together. It's really some trend-setting content, right? And for a young brother his age to do what he's done, I remember one point he was trying to get a warehouse, and I had just hit a lick, and I was like, yo, you know what? This might not be a bad investment. You know what I'm saying? And 2 things happened, and honest truth. two things happened. I sent a DM about something completely different. It had nothing to do with the warehouse, but I realized there was no reply. So, and watching, I'm like, okay, like, I don't want to hit him about business in the comments of the live. I really don't want to be known. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not trying to be a character with the thing. I just believed in what he was doing, and I was like, yo, this can really be something. From what he was speaking on out loud, I was like, yo, if he gets this done, and I guess the warehouse or whatever, it needed a certain amount of work, and so I was like, you know what? If he gets through the construction part, then I'll jump in on, on some business shit. Like, all right, what else do you need the thing? And, we can handle business. But it ended up not working out. I thought it was going to be a sweet thing if it did work out. But he ended up turning around and doing something completely different. And that worked. And it was super dope. And I'm always constantly intrigued. Right? The only thing I would say on my end, there was one time I made a comment to G Money. G Money was live and he was playing somewhere. I think it was some kind of party. And I remember being early, so I want to say it was like maybe a birthday party or a baby shower or something. But he was live when he was playing, and me being a DJ for up teen years, he did a mix, and his transition, it was like really dope. So I was all tuned in, and I'm listening and I'm vibing, and then I was like, oh, okay, so you do know how to play, homie, right? Like one of those things. But again, it's text, so it's words on a screen. And people can't hear, they can't read your intent. And I think later on, he had made a comment like, yeah, I've been doing this for years, blah, 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 and you know what I'm saying? I think it was just one of those things where it was read the wrong way, and I was never sure if the comment was directed to my comment, but I did feel bad that it wasn't read right, you know what I'm saying? So if he ever hears this, you know what I mean, just know, G Money, man, I apologize. I was actually bigging you up and making a joke amongst DJ, like, oh, you do know what you're doing, homie, you know what I mean? Like, being funny about it. But yeah, other than that, man, listen, I know people like, oh, he be cursing people out and he does this and does that. Yeah. But look at the bigger picture. Look at what he's put together. Show me another person that has put together a reality show on his own dime. You know what I mean? By himself from off of a social media platform. I can't tell you where I've seen it, and I'm saying that no, I don't even want to say the names. But the people in charge of, the hip hop joints and the wives joints, like none of them involved, right? On his own dime, yeah, he did, raise money or whatever. He had cash apps or whatever. And I won't lie to you, I've donated a few times. You know what I mean? It don't matter what the change was. It wasn't no big money. It might have been $5 here, $10 here. I like the movement, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, send something, raise a couple of bucks for my son because he's putting in work. Yeah, send that, you know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of times, and be honest, a lot of times, like if I see, like asking for donations and it's not happening, he's trying to accomplish something, sometimes I just throw the $5 just so it starts, because mentally I know somebody's always waiting for the first one, right? That's always usually how it is. So I'll send the $5, he'd be like, yo, I got $5, and then now it'll trickle and it'll start, it'll kick kick it off. You know what I mean? But out of the character, all the characters, and I don't really consider these two cast, because I think they're more so like, because when I say cast, I'm talking about the characters that he had within Flip Dials and on his lives. They were like, the considered cast or whatever. But it's a husband and wife type deal. G Blacks and Queena, the two of them, man, super dope. They've been putting out a shitload of content lately, man. It just looks good, nice, young, beautiful black couple, you know what I mean? Love each other. You can always tell that G Blacks love his wife, Queena loves her husband. It's just a good thing. It's a good thing to see, you know what I mean? And they come from that flip, not that he put them together. I'm just saying that they come from, that lineage of, that whole, Flip network. Now they're doing content on their own, which is extremely hilarious, right? I wish they would bring back. Oh, at one point, that was another thing, a beautiful thing. So while he was doing the Flip the Network on Instagram Live, the couple I just mentioned, G Black and Queena, they had the recap show on YouTube. And they would recap what happened during the week and all the different characters of who fighting what, who was fighting who, and who's arguing with. It was, forget the antics, forget what was being said. It's the fact of what was put together, all on, by one person. You got to respect that. So all this to say, and I ain't gonna hold y'all for too much longer, man. All this to say, man, like some of y'all who were like, down in the dude, man, and you just know him from the JBP, really dig into him, man, and you'll see, and you kind of know, I'm not gonna talk too much more on it, but it was a good thing to see. It's always a good thing to see, and again, if you were looking for me to trash talk the dude, that wasn't gonna happen. And I don't know him personally. I ain't trying to blow smoke. This ain't enough for the views. That's another reason that it's kind of mentioned at the end, because, it wasn't about him. You know what I'm saying? But when I mean like this pod ain't about him, it was just something I thought it should be addressed on a fair note, because I haven't really heard, and maybe I missed it. I could have missed it. You know what I mean? I can't be everywhere at once. I can't hear all the pods at once. I can't hear all these different content creators at once to know, but I haven't personally heard somebody like deep dive and give like a whole real playback of what this dude has done. Now, I know there's stuff that he's done in the past, but before all of this, like running with Capo and all of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, cool, but I never been around him, but I didn't know of him at that time, so I can't speak on none of that. I didn't see any of that. So whatever stories are being told, those stories to be told. I'm talking about from the 2018 to now. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. And again, I say, man, super dope dude, man. I wish all the best for him and his family. Besides the callers, he put together a pod with his kids. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. If y'all take the time to look past the antics and look what the brothers really put together, and look what he's done. Sometimes when you hear him react a certain way to certain comments or whatever, like, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. And if I was him, I would feel a certain way, like, y'all ain't putting the right respect on my name. Y'all not. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were, you wouldn't speak in that manner. You couldn't speak in that manner if you really understood like all the stuff that I've put together. Even I think people on his not his cast, but his fellow castmates on AVP, I think they watch his stuff, but they don't really have the deep dive on everything that he's put together and accomplished. Even them, they have things in like small spurts, and you know what I mean, and they put it together. And since they know him personally, there's no need for them to do a deep dive. They feel like they get it. But I think if they look back and watch the physical footage, just watch how it played out, I think the respect level, and maybe they've done. I don't know them. I don't know. Maybe they have done it. You know what I mean? But sometimes some of the things comments I hear them say back, I'm like, it wouldn't even be funny if you really knew, because that wouldn't be a joke you could make if you really understand what he's done. But all that to say, man, I respect the brother, man, and I wish all the best for him and his family and where all his future endeavors. Before that, what I wanted to mention too is, and I don't know if I just said it already, but some of those characters that were on there, on his Flip network, they've gone on and they're doing their own thing now. And that is basically what he's been wanting them to do the whole time, was like, yo, go create your content and then come back here. Right? Forget the narrative. They ignore, like, you don't fall for my narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my spot, and I'm here to create narratives. Don't fall for it. Go be solid with who you are. Go do what you're doing. When you come back here, it'll get figured out. It'll figure out it itself, right? But I think along the line, it got too personal. But now they're all doing exactly what he was trying to make them do from before. And some of them, it's they're doing an all right job. You know what I'm saying? The two in particular that I think are doing okay. And one I really like. I was, to be honest, when who was it? I think it was Diddy. Diddy was, when the Diddy thing started, I was like, yo, it'd be dope to do a combo with this individual, and maybe blend the pod or whatever, because not just for the following, but I kind of like how the brother thinks. You know what I mean? He's super smart. But he was on live one day, and he had some people on there that were, they weren't spitting facts. They were spitting whatever they heard on, just online. You know what I'm saying? And, anybody that knows, there's a reason, I speak on certain things. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things that they were saying, if you know my history, so it wasn't making sense. And I'm like, y'all weren't there. There's no way. Y'all heard that from somewhere. That came from somewhere else. All that to be said. So, and he kind of allowed it to like fly. And you know how important I feel like this microphone is. Like, you know what I mean? You have to, what's said on this microphone lasts forever. You have to respect the power of this microphone. You know what I mean? I Have a Dream was spit on a microphone. So the microphone is like super important, and I just didn't like the idea that he let certain things be said and fly on his platform and not, either debunk it or address it, or I just didn't like the idea of that. So I was like, okay, let me just pull back from that. But I still respect what he does. I think his platform and what he does, I think is dope, and kudos to him, shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't speak to him ahead of time or anything, I'm sure when he hears this, he'll know when he hears this, but if he was to ever hear this, he would know who he is or whatever. And no problem, no beef. I don't know him personally. It's just, I just opted not to do it because of that. And that was the only issue. Other than that, man, I think the dude is super dope. But back to Flip, man, I think, you should really get into Just Do. I want to see the best for that brother. And I'm just, I'm really just waiting to see like what's the next move, the next play, But like I say, with all that being said, man, I've held you here long enough. I appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me, and I respect that. Right? With that being said, peace.